Welcome race fans here. It is a sunny day at the Daytona International Speedway as we are getting ready for qualifying to set the grid for the Daytona 500. When I say grid, I mean the front row, as we will find out which two drivers will lead the field down to the green flag in the 2016 Daytona 500. Today, 49 drivers will take a lap to see which driver will get the fastest lap and win the pole. 49 drivers are entered, only 42 will make the show, meaning 7 drivers will miss the race and have to start their season next weekend at Atlanta. But we have 49 cars entered, like we said. They will have 2 laps, and their fastest lap of the 2 will be their time lap. At the right side of your screen, I'm going to be trying to have like a little ticker going. That way you will see where your favorite driver or drivers are after they have put down a time. So that is pretty much all of the pre-qualifying news. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, the first car will be on the track, and we'll be right back. And the first guy to go out to qualify, the number 98, Michael Waltrip. Driver the 98 for Premium Motorsports, and I do have something to say before Waltrip begins his lap. He will be driving the number 98 Maxwell House Toyota in the Daytona 500 should he qualify for the race. It's just that I did not have his Maxwell car painted yet, so he's going to be practicing qualifying in this car right here, the Becker Autos Trailers Ford for Premium Motorsports. So Waltrip is on his kind of a pace lap, and now he will take the green flag to start his qualifying run. Premium Motorsports fielding 2 cars in 2016. The number 62 driven by Rookie of the Year contender Harrison Rhodes, and then the 98 will be driven the majority by Ryan Preece. He'll be running for Rookie of the Year, running a limited schedule in the number 98, beginning at Atlanta. Michael Waltrip, a 2-time Daytona 500 champion, won it in 2001 and 2 years later in 2003. Now the first 4 cars, I believe, on the qualifying grid are going to be Gorga homers, meaning that they must race their way in, either qualify on time in this race or in this qualifying session or in the duels on Thursday. Now, we had the top 35 in owner points from 1 year ago. They are already in, as Waltrip will put his first time on the board, a 49.77 for the 98. Now, the fastest 3 Gorga homers, the fastest 3 will automatically make the show, no matter who they are. Now, Brad Keselowski and Bobby Labonte are past champions, so they will have a provisional to fall back on if needed. Now, Keselowski is normally locked in, but they gave Brad's owner points to Ryan Blaney in the 12 team, so they will make the show. Blaney running full time for Team Penske, as Michael will enter the tribal to complete his second lap. Does he pick it up? Yes, he does. A 49.49 for the 98. Will that be enough to make the show today, or will he have to wait till Thursday to race his way in? We'll find out, as the next car will be coming up right after the break. Now on track, about to take the green flag, will be the number 29 of Brian Scott, one of our Rookie of the Year contenders, who will be running full-time for Richard Childress Racing in 2016. This guy has been in the NASCAR Xfinity Series for over the past 6 years, driving for either Joe Gibbs Racing or Richard Childress Racing, and now finally making a switch up to the NASCAR Spring Up Series in 2016. And RCR also brought back the number 29 that's been driven by Kevin Harvick for over 13 years. And they're back with the number 29 with Brian Scott behind the wheel. And just like Michael Waltrip, this 29 must qualify on time or race his way in through the duels. And right now, Scott was pretty quick in practice, so it's going to be interesting to see what Brian can do compared to Michael Waltrip. Off turn 14, complete lap number 1. Michael ran a 49.49 on his second lap. So his second lap should be quicker, and Scott's already quicker, a 48.02, a great lap by the number 29 of Brian Scott. A big, big difference. 29 and the 98. And this lap should be quicker. As you see the rookie straps right in the back of the number 29. Brian will be doing double duty. This upcoming weekend, he'll be running the NASCAR Xfinity Series race in the number 33 with Shore Lodge as a sponsor, just like Austin Dillon did 1 year ago. And Brian Scott will be running a lot of Xfinity races in 2016, as he'll come across the line a 47.77, a huge pickup and a huge faster lap than the 98 of Michael Waltrip. That might be a good lap to even have a shot at the pole, but we're going to have to see what some of the other cars will be able to capable of to run. The next up will be Harrison Rhodes, Michael McDowell, and Regan Smith to put a time on the board here in Daytona 500 pole qualifying. On track now will be the number 62 of Harrison Rhodes, another Rookie of the Year contender and a teammate to Michael Waltrip, who we just saw go out. The number 98. Harrison will be running full-time in the NASCAR Spring Up Series, running for Rookie of the Year, and his first lap a 51.28. That is over 2 seconds slower than his teammate Michael Waltrip, and over almost 5 seconds slower than pole center Brian Scott. Harrison must qualify on time. This 62 car failed to qualify in about half the races run in 2015. Brendan Gaughan, Reed Sorensen, Timmy Hill, and among those drivers who tried to qualify this car, but this team really struggled on speed. They made a few changes over the off season, and now have the addition of Harrison Rhodes. He ran full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series 1 year ago for JD Motorsports, making the switch over to Cup Series in 2016, and he'll put a 51.07 on the board, third quickest for Harrison Rhodes. Next up on track to take time will be the number 95 Levine Family Racing Ford of Michael McDowell. This team will be running its first full year in NASCAR Spring Up Series competition. They ran part-time the last 2 years with Michael McDowell, and now they will be making a switch up to full-time Cup racing. And with that lap, Michael McDowell just went the second quickest, bumping Waltrip down to third and Harrison Rhodes down to fourth. And with that lap by the 95, that does make it pretty clear that Harrison Rhodes must race his way in through the Can-Am duels on Thursday night. So that'll be so now Harrison will know where his future stakes in making a race. But McDowell, he wants to see if he can maybe pick it up and try to knock Brian Scott off the top spot. This 95 is a quick car, and a 48.28, second quickest for the number 95 of Michael McDowell. He does not beat Brian Scott, but we'll see where this time will wrap up for the 95 team. Leaving pit road now, making his way down the back straightaway will be your first car to qualify that is already locked into the show. It is Regan Smith for Stewart-Haas Racing. Regan Smith back full-time in the NASCAR Spring Up Series for Stewart-Haas Racing after spending 3 years in the NASCAR Xfinity Series for JD Motorsports. Danica Patrick, GoDaddy.com, left Stewart-Haas at the end of 2015. Left the seat open, and now Regan Smith will be the full-time driver after he had a couple of times had to replace Tony Stewart and Kurt Busch after a leg injury and Kurt Busch's suspension last year. Both Tom Smith was the replacement driver, and now Regan getting an opportunity to run full-time for one of the best teams in NASCAR Spring Up Series, Stewart-Haas Racing. Now, Bass Pro Shops that has sponsored Stewart for the last couple of years has moved over to the number 10 to be the primary sponsor. Level 1 will be the primary sponsor for the 14 of Tony Stewart in his final year in NASCAR Spring Up Series racing. And at Lon Smith, a 47.98. That is the quickest first lap we've seen today. I'm going to move this over a little bit to see what the time is right now. A 47.77 for Brian Scott. Right now, Smith's lap is tracking to be quicker than the 29 of Brian Scott. Down the back straightaway, almost over 185 miles per hour for the 10 car. Teammates of Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, and Tony Stewart, 3 champions in our sport. And Regan, after running for Furniture Row Racing a couple of years, this could be his best season yet, and he will come across the line a 47.73. Put the number 10 on point, the quickest guy at Daytona, Regan Smith. Michael Annett is just finishing up his second lap, and right now a 49.49 for the number 46 of Michael Annett. And this 46 is a Gorga homer after he was low in honor points after 2015. So the 46 must qualify on time or race his way in through the duel. So right now, the 46 is being shown. Looks like he is a few tenths slower than, or a few 1,000ths slower than Michael Waltrip. So Annett will have to race his way in through the duels. As Michael Annett right now sits 5th on the board, let's see what the next guy has to go for the pole. That is the number 3 of Austin Dillon, the 2014 Daytona 500 pole center. Dillon won the Xfinity race in July of last year, but also the day after, Dillon involved in a scary crash off turn 4 after Kevin Harvick turned Denny Hamlin. Hamlin came up the track and made contact with the number 3 of Dillon. Dillon went over Boyer, Regan, Stewart, Mears in the fence, and it was a scary wreck for Austin Dillon. But luckily, he walked away, and now he's trying to get his second pole in the Daytona 500. The second car of RCR to go route, his rookie teammate Brian Scott second on the board, and Dillon was one of the faster cars in practice. And let's see what he has to go for the pole into turn 3 and off turn number 4. Austin Dillon down to the line. First lap is going to be pretty quick, I'm sure. A 47.96. And let's see where that stacks up. Looks like that is right now 3rd quickest for Austin Dillon. But let's see if that'll be enough to knock Regan Smith off the top spot. Ron Scott second, Michael McDowell, Michael Waltrip, and Michael Annett, your top 5. A lot of Michaels so far in the field. And inside the top 5 right now, Dillon, just like Regan Smith, is locked into the race. So this number 3 does not have to worry about racing his way in, unlike his teammate Brian Scott, who right now is second in the highest of the Gorga homers that's been out so far. Down to the line to complete lap number 2, a 47.74 for Austin Dillon, second quickest for the number 3 of Austin Dillon. When we come back, we'll have Kyle Busch, Kasey Kahne on track, along with Greg Biffle. Next on track now, the 2003 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion Travis Kvapil, driving on number 39 for Hillman Racing, a second entry. This team will be a part-time team in 2016 and teammate to full-time driver Landon Castle. Kvapil will be running a full truck series season for Make Motorsports down in the 50 truck. He'll race in Friday night's truck race. But Kvapil must qualify on time or race his way in. And right now, Kvapil speeding lap number 1. Actually, he'll be doing completing lap number 1 right now, but his car does not seem to be as fast as some of the other cars that we've seen. A 50-54 for Travis Kvapil. That right now has only beaten Harrison Rhodes. Right now, Ryan Scott, Michael McDowell, and Michael Waltrip, your top three of the go-go homers. Michael Annett, Harrison Rhodes must race their way in after their time was not quick enough. And right now, Kvapil a 50-54. Now, it looks like he is tracking a little bit better, but depends how much is he able to pick up. He needs to pick up at least more like a second just to get to the 98. 2 seconds to beat McDowell, and over 3.5 seconds to beat Ryan Scott. Let's see what he can do on lap number 2. A 50-32 for Travis Kvapil. He does not move up any positions. Kvapil will stay in the, looks like he'll be 7th after his second lap. Just completing lap number 1 is the 18 of Kyle Busch, a 48-50 for the number 18 of Kyle Busch. Right now, 5th quickest on lap number 1. Your defending NASCAR Spring Up Series champion for Joe Gibbs Racing, Kyle Busch, has never won the Daytona 500 but he has had some fast cars here in the past. Right now, back in the yellow M&M's paint scheme for 2016, the M&M's Crispy Toyota. Kyle Busch locked into the show, obviously, after winning the championship 1 year ago. Off turn number 4 to see what time he's able to put on the board. Does he knock off Regan Smith? No, he does not. He stayed in the 48 bracket, a 48-24 for Kyle Busch. That will be 4th quickest for your defending champion, the 18 of Kyle Busch. The 10th driver to hit the track to put a time on the board, the number 5 of Kasey Kahne, the Farmers Insurance Chevrolet, on track. Kasey Kahne will be locked into the show. He does not have to worry about racing his way in. And Kasey coming off a struggling year in 2015, going winless in 2015. Only win he got was the truck race at Charlotte. That was when he was Joe for Judy Motorsports. Kasey did not get no wins last year and did not even qualify for the playoffs. The chase for the Sprint Cup, he finished 18th in points. But coming into this season, he has a lot of optimism and hopes to have a better year and try to get more wins and try to make the chase to go for a championship. And right now, Kahne, one of the quicker cars here out of the Hendrick Motorsports camp. Off turn number 4 into the tribal. We'll see what time he will put on the board. A 47.98 for Kasey Kahne. That will put the 4th quickest right now. And does he have enough left in the tank to try to take a crack at the number 10 of Regan Smith? Regan has so far hanged pretty tough right now. Regan and Brian Scott 2nd. I'm sorry, not Austin Scott 3rd, Kyle Busch, and Michael McDowell, your top 5. And now making his way into turn 3 and 4. Does he knock the 10 off the pole? Into the tribal to see what he will get. He puts down a 47.73. And that is the quickest lap so far. Kasey Kahne, quickest here at Daytona by 3/1000ths of a second over the 10 of Regan Smith. And that will bump Austin Dillon off the front row. Right now, Kasey Kahne and Regan Smith, your fastest 2, as we are 10 cars in to Daytona 500 pole qualifying. And just like Kasey Kahne, Greg Biffle had a struggling year in 2015 as well. Biffle did not get a win. Actually, nobody at Russ Fenway got a win in 2015. Biffle finished around 20th in points and really struggled all of last year. Ortho back on board for another year, and Roush trying to get their stuff together after Chris Buescher won the Xfinity title last year. That gave this team a little bit of hope, and after lap number 1, a 48.377, that has put Biffle around 7th quickest right now. Be for the first Rouse car to hit the track. Right now down the back straightaway. Biffle was around 20th quickest in practice, and Biffle started all the way in 24th last night in the Sprint Unlimited. And right now coming down to the line to see if he can pick up anything in lap number 2, a 48.121. Greg Biffle 5th quickest in the number 16, but he will not win the pole, but he is 5th quickest on lap number 2 for Greg Biffle. One of the drivers everybody will be keeping a close eye on in 2016 will no doubt be your Rookie of the Year contender, Chase Elliott. But he's really known for replacing the now retired Jeff Gordon. Gordon retired after 2015 and now hanged up the helmet, and they have the 2014 Xfinity champion Chase Elliott. Napa Auto Parts as a sponsor. And Elliott, kind of really hard to tell what we expect out of Chase Elliott. You know, he only ran 5 races in 2015 and a 5th Hendrick car. Coming down to the line, he will be putting a 48.63. That is not a good first lap for Chase Elliott. Compared to his teammate Kasey Kahne, right now is quickest at a 47.73. Elliott did not have a good Sprint Unlimited last night after he was voted in by the fans. Chase Elliott made contact with Dale Jr. and Martin Truex Jr. right on the initial start of the race. Got heavy damage. They had to take off the hood of the 24. Lost the draft, and he just did not really get a lot of experience, as he's never been in a Cup race at Daytona before. And Daytona 500, but let's see where the 24 will qualify. He is right now a 48.38. Not the lap he was hoping for. Around 8th quickest for Chase Elliott. But it doesn't matter where you qualify, it matters where you finish, and he still has the duels to try to improve his starting position. And after Chase Elliott will be another Rookie of the Year contender, the number 12 SKF4, driven by rookie Ryan Blaney. Team Penske has brought back its 3rd team, the number 12, back in the NASCAR Spring Up Series full-time. SKF stepping up as the primary sponsor for Ryan Blaney. And Blaney will begin his qualifying lap as Blaney will be racing in his 2nd career Daytona 500. And this year, he does not have to worry about racing his way in. Normally, this 12 car would have to race his way in, but his teammate Brad Keselowski, because he is the 2012 champion, Team Penske gave the owner points from the 2 car to the 12 car to help Ryan make the show. And Brad does have a past champion provisional to fall back on if needed. If he does not need it, that provisional will be going to Bobby Labonte if he needs it. So right now, Bobby Labonte's biggest fan in the duels or in qualifying right here will be Brad Keselowski. He'll be going out later on in the session. A 47.991 for Ryan Blaney. That is a pretty good lap for Ryan Blaney. Ryan will be running races in the NASCAR Xfinity Series for Team Penske, and also plan to run a couple of truck races for Brad Keselowski Racing. Their new 3rd team that they're starting up this season, the number 2 truck. Got into turn 3, Ryan Blaney. And the SKF4 makes his way off turn number 4. Let's see what time he will put on the board, and does he pick it up enough to knock Kasey Kahne off the top spot. A 47.733. That will come close. 2nd quickest for Ryan Blaney. He knocks Regan Smith off the front row. Blaney beats Smith by 1/1000th of a second and loses it to Kahne by only 2/1000ths of a second for Ryan Blaney, but still a great lap nonetheless. 2nd quickest for Ryan Blaney. Next up on the track is your runner-up finisher from last night in the Sprint Unlimited, A.J. Allmendinger. What a great race he had last night. Going after the win with Paul Menard, Jamie McMurray, and Jimmy Johnson. Down in the turn 3 on the last lap. Allmendinger, Menard side by side. McMurray on the back bumper. The 47 decides it's time to go. Makes a move into the middle, but ends up making contact on the left rear corner panel of A.J. Allmendinger, turning him down into the 27 of Paul Menard. Allmendinger goes in the grass, comes back at the track, slows down Jamie McMurray, and here comes the 48 of Jimmy Johnson on the inside, and he wins the battle at the line between A.J. Allmendinger. It's still a great race for Allmendinger nonetheless. A 48.577 on his first lap. Not really a quick lap for the 47 compared to a lap by Kasey Kahne or Ryan Blaney or Regan Smith. AJ, a kind of more of an RCR affiliated car. Down to the line and pick it up on lap number 2. Does he? And yes, he does. A 48.321 for A.J. Allmendinger. Not a lot of people showing for, but doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you finish for A.J. And he is already locked into the soda, so he does not have to worry about racing his way in to the Daytona 500. Next up on track, the number 23 of J.J. Yaley. He is a go-go homer, our 6th go-go homer of the day. We've already seen five go out. Ryan Scott pretty quick right now. Michael McDowell sitting 8th. Michael Waltrip 11th. Michael Annett 12th. Travis Kvapil 13th. And Harrison Rhodes 14th. And Yaley at the line puts down a 49.96. He beats Kvapil and Rhodes. That's it. But he's still about 5/10 off of Michael Annett's time and Michael Waltrip. He needs about 5/10 to beat Waltrip. That would be the transfer spot to qualify in on time, or to have to race your way in through the duels. Right now, Waltrip and Yaley are now the two battling right now. And Yaley running full time in the NASCAR Spring Up Series again. He ran full time for BK Racing last year, but ran for Xfinity points. But this year he will be running for Cup points, and at the line, Yaley picks it up to a 49.73. Not enough to move up any spot, so J.J. Yaley, 13th quickest out of the 15 drivers, has been out on track. Out on track now, the number 33 Media Cat Chevrolet out of Circle Sport Racing. It is Reed Sorensen trying to qualify his way in on time in the Daytona 500, and right now 50-32 right now for Reed Sorensen. 15th quickest is where he would stand right now, but trying to pick it up here on lap number 2. Sorensen will, yes, he does a 50.090 for Reed Sorensen. He does pick it up. He beats Kvapil and Rhodes, but not enough to qualify in on time. So Sorensen's only shot to make the show now is to race his way in on Thursday night. The next guy to go out and take a lap will be the number 4 of Kevin Harvick, driver who was runner-up in the championship 1 year ago, losing it out to Kyle Busch in the 18. Budweiser scaling back its program with Kevin Harvick, and now they have Busch Beer, the new primary sponsor for Kevin Harvick in 2016. And Harvick's teammate Regan Smith right now is 3rd quickest on the board, and right now Harvick was really quick in practice. If you have to bet on a guy getting a pole in the 500, you have to put money on this 4 of Kevin Harvick. He knows how to get it done. The 2007 Daytona 500 champion. He's won an Xfinity race here at Daytona. He's won the Sprint Unlimited 3 times. And ran very well last night until having some contact with Eric Almirola. Went up in the outside wall, lost the draft, got damaged. Never really bounced back from the incident with Almirola last night. And that Alani 47.993, that is a pretty good lap for Kevin Harvick. That would put him right now 6th quickest for Kevin Harvick in the 4. This is Harvick's 3rd year at Stewart-Haas Racing, running another limited schedule for Virginia Motorsports in the Xfinity Series. And very nice painting for Kevin Harvick. The Busch Beer colors, Jimmy John's, Outback Steakhouse, Dietech.com. All will be some of the Harvick sponsors in 2016. And we expect him to get back in the swing of things by being fast in qualifying. Let's see where he gets on lap number 2. He moves up into 5th quickest for Kevin Harvick, right behind the number 3 of Austin Dillon. He bumps Ryan Scott down to 7th place, or make that 6th place. Kevin Harvick now 5th quickest in Daytona 500 pole qualifying here at Daytona. Next guy to go out and take a lap, the 17th driver, is the number 7 of Alex Bowman. 30-year driver in the NASCAR Spring Up Series, running 4-time for Tommy Baldwin Racing in the Golden Corral Chevrolet. Bowman failed to qualify for this race 1 year ago after getting caught up in a crash in his dual race. Bowman had to miss the show, but came back to get inside the top 35 and on points. That is how Bowman will qualify or will race in the Daytona 500. And a 49.924, not the best lap for Alex Bowman, but he is in the show no matter what. But this team will have to try to see if they can find some more speed, because lap number 1 not very quick, a 49.924 for Alex Bowman. Bowman will be running double duty this weekend. He will be racing in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series event at Daytona for Virginia Motorsports in the 00 truck. I think Bowman will be a threat in that race. He's very good when it comes to restricted plate racing. Almost won a Xfinity race at Talladega back in 2013. And down at the line, a 49.682, a pretty good pickup. Only picks up 1 spot, but Alex Bowman, a 49.682. That will put him outside the top 10 though, but we'll see what he can do in his dual race. Clint Boyer back on the track, coming onto the track now. He's now on his 1st lap. Boyer running his 1st year in Furniture Row Racing. His team made a move to Toyota after 2015 during the off season, and they started up a 2nd team, the number 77. They picked up Clint Boyer, Father Energy, and they will be teaming up for another year. And Boyer finished 4th in last night's Sprint Unlimited race. Almost won the race. Had a great run going. And now to the line, a complete lap number 1. Let's see what Clint Boyer does. A 47.984 for the number 77. Boyer, the 19th driver to go out, I believe. I can't really look at my ticker right now. I have all my times on like a little notepad sheet, and the game is kind of covering it up. That's why I keep on making mistakes on where drivers are and so on. But I'm trying to do the best I can right now. Boyer is inside the top 10 as I can tell, and this looks to be a quicker lap. Let's see what he can do on lap number 2. Can Boyer pick? And also Clint Boyer is a go-or-go homer, and he has just went the 4th quickest on the board. Clint Boyer, 4th quickest, and he is now the quickest of the go-or-go homers. Boyer right now is in, but what that does do is that will bump Michael Waltrip, his former boss and former team owner, out of the Fast 3 to make the show today. That means Michael Waltrip will have to race his way in through the duels on Thursday night. That means your top 3 right now are Clint Boyer, Brian Scott, and Michael McDowell. So we will see how that will check out. Boyer, 4th quickest here at Daytona. Welcome back here to Daytona. We are continuing qualifying for the Daytona 500. Brian Vickers, the next guy on track to take a time, complete lap number 1. Vickers a 47.980 for Brian Vickers. That's pretty much the same lap Clint Boyer ran, and he went up to 4th quickest, so we will see what he can do and see if he can knock off Kasey Kahne. Brian Vickers ran only 2 races last year after health issues sidelined him once again, but Clint Boyer left the team, opened up a ride. Brian Vickers was able to come back to NWR and will be running full time, and Maxwell House was the new primary sponsor for the number 15. Peak will also be on board the number 15 in 2016. And Vickers a nice time in on lap number 1, but let's see what he can do on lap number 2. A 47.738, 5th quickest for the number 15 of Brian Vickers, and all the times inside the top 5. We have a 47.731, a 47.733, 47.734, 47.735, and a 47.738. That is your top 5 right now, the speeds, and it will probably be even closer as we have over 29 more drivers to go out to qualify. Casey Mears and number 13 Geico Chevrolet on track now to put a time on the board. As you can tell, this is part 1, Daytona 500 qualifying part 1, as this will be in 2 parts. Trying to see if I can keep this a little bit shorter. Parts will be easy to upload. Maybe 20 minutes each, as a whole session would probably be over 45 to almost maybe even an hour long. So that's why I'm kind of shortening this up. Casey Mears a 48.512 for the 13 of Casey Mears. Right now, that's not really a good lap. He's outside the top 10 right now. And Mears did not have a good run last night's Sprint Unlimited, if I remember correctly. I believe he had some issues going on. Had some contact. I can't quite remember. Let's see if he... Yeah, Casey Mears finished 22nd last night in the Sprint Unlimited. Off turn 4, put the time on the board, or a second time on the board. Does he pick it up any? Does he move up any? A 48.270. So that will be the lap Casey Mears has put down. Mears is locked into the show, so he does not have to worry about racing his way in. Alright, we are back, and we are getting ready for the final car to go out in this video. Carl Edwards, the number 19 for Joe Gibbs Racing, the second JGR Toyota to go out and put a time on the board. Right now, his teammate Kyle Busch, not really that quick right now, only 10th quickest for the 18 of Kyle Busch. Carl Edwards right now, he had an issue getting going, and that is why he's on lap number 3. But normally they would be on lap number 2 at this point. But anyway, 47.992 for the 19 of Carl Edwards, and this 19 is in the show. Carl's second year at Joe Gibbs Racing, finished 5th in points in his first year at JGR. Came within 5 points to racing for a championship at Homestead last year. And Carl into turn 3. Final driver to go out to qualify in this first part of qualifying. Does he knock Kasey Kahne off the top spot? Does he move inside the top 5? A 47.735. Carl Edwards, 4th quickest here, as he has put a tie. He's now a Boyer for the 4th spot. But the 19 has more owner points, obviously, than the 77 of Boyer, because that is a new team. So Carl will be 4th quickest, bumps Boyer down to 5th quickest. So as we go away after this first part of qualifying, this is how they stand right now. Kasey Kahne, Ryan Blaney, Regan Smith, Clint Boyer, Carl Edwards and Clint Boyer, Brian Vickers, Austin Dillon, Kevin Harvick, Brian Scott, and Greg Biff for your top 10. Right now, your top 3 to advance to the 500, they are Clint Boyer, Brian Scott, and Michael McDowell, Michael Waltrip, Michael Annette, J.J. Yeley, Reed Sorensen, Travis Kvapil, and Harrison Rhodes will have to race their way in through the duels on Thursday night. So that is all here for now. We'll see you tomorrow for the next group of drivers to qualify for the Daytona 500 for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series.